Welcome back, guys. So I personally believe that as part of the armed prepared citizen lifestyle, like a better word, having a good knife is a must. Now, there are some that will debate that point. That's fine, each to his own. I do what I feel is right for me. The thing I see that run into out there is there are some extraordinarily nice knives, but a lot of times some of them come with extraordinarily nice prices as well. Knives to me are just like my firearms. They're tools that I'm going to use. My criteria for a knife is much similar to my criteria for a firearm. I want it to work. I want it to be affordable, preferably for the average working Joe. I want a knife that will hold a decent edge, but is also easy to resharpen. So I'm going to use it, it's going to get dull. I don't care who made it, how great the steel is, or anything else. A knife's going to dull. I need to be able to resharpen it, and I need to be able to resharpen it in the field by myself and not have to send it off somewhere, not have to do it in the workshop, anything like that. I need to be able to take a stone and a leather strop and put an edge back on it right there in my lap. So all that criteria together, there's a couple of different brands that I have become fans of that I think are good knives for the armed prepared citizen that combine all those features: the price, the quality, the materials, etc. The one particular brand that I want to talk about right now in this video is my Ontario knives. Now, I'm no stranger to Ontario. I've owned them in the past, and they were okay, but they weren't my favorites. There were little things that bothered me about them that I had issues with, etc. So I ended up selling them and moving on to other things. However, a year ago, one of my very, very close friends who's got a very good real-world background of use on things, he turned me on to an Ontario knife that I hadn't paid any attention to. And it was this knife right here. This is an Ontario RD-6. Okay, see, I know it. It's part of their Ranger series. And after he turned me on to it, I really fell in love with this knife. I resisted the urge to get one because I already had some other ones I was using. And then, of course, he kept pestering me about it. And then one day he sends me a link. Hey, look, these are on sale. Now, the price was already good on them. When he sent me a link to the sale price, it was like, oh, crap, I can't pass that up. So I got one. Over the past year, it has quickly moved to the top of my list, tied with a couple others that I use on a regular basis. This one's got not a lot of use on it, but it's got enough that I trust it. Someone commented in the past about one of my knife videos, and my taste in knives have changed over the course of the last 5 or 6 years too, by the way. That's why I'm doing this video. But somebody commented about, oh, that looks brand new, you never use that. Well, first off, I have used all my knives. I just tend to take care of them. So after I use them, I actually clean them up and all that. So I don't leave mine all dirty and scuffed up just so that I can try to impress you with the fact that it's all dirty and scuffed up, because I can go throw it out in the yard and make it look used because it's got scuff marks all over it and not have done a thing with it. I take care of my equipment. Just me. But just so you'll know, you can see there's some wear marks on there. This knife is one big chunk of steel with a set of handles on it and an edge. That's it. The RD-6, as you would gather from the name, is approximately a 6-inch long knife. This is probably one of the best sized fixed blade knives for the armed prepared citizen, survivalist, etc. that I could think of. It's big enough that you can do most chores that you would want a knife to do, but it's not so big and cumbersome that it's unwieldy to have on your belt or whatever and have handy. It fits my hand good. It's a decent size. Width-wise, it's not a full 1/4 inch thick, but it's pretty close. I like the exposed pommel because I can use that to break stuff with in a survival situation, zombie apocalypse, whatever. I can break out a car window to get into something. I can crack open nuts. I can break rocks. Whatever I want to pound with that exposed pommel, I can. I can put a lanyard on it. Good cutting edge that I can touch up really easy with just a simple diamond stone and a leather strap in my lap real quick. The cool thing about this knife is the price. Right now on Amazon, $70. That to me is right in that line of where I think a good fixed blade for the armed prepared citizen should be. There's $200 and $300 fixed blade knives out there that I think are absolutely gorgeous knives that work great. I don't think that they do anything for me that this $70 Ontario knife will do. The only druthers to it would be the sheath. It's a simple nylon sheath that is perfectly functional. It won't win any beauty contests. It won't, make all your friends ooh and ah, but it's functional. You can put it on your belt, put the knife in it, it retains it. That's what you want a sheath to do for the most part, at least for me. I did splurge and had a Kydex sheath made for it that I like. A couple of things about this sheath that I would probably do differently, but that's okay, it works for now. Fortunately, one of my best friends is a bit of a Kydex genius, so I may have him make me another sheath for it. But you wouldn't have to do that. The sheath that it comes with is functional. So, Ontario RD-6. Now, I like keeping things the same. You'll notice that theme with my ARs, my rifles, my handguns, and my knives. I like a good functional utility folder. Now, for a survival situation, end of the world situation, whatever, and really honestly even daily situation, there's not going to be many times that I'm going to fight with a knife. If I have to use a knife in a defensive situation, it's because things have gotten really bad. I possibly screwed up somewhere along the way, but it happens. Murphy's Law, right? So, for the most part, I don't look for a folder anymore that's a fighting knife. To me, a folder is a utility type item, right? And along those lines, my wife got me for Christmas this little number right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. that'll focus, but this is the Ontario Rat Model 2 folder. It's a small-ish folder that honestly, when I got it, I was like, oh, that's cute. And I was grateful that she got it, but then I started using it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a freaking handy little knife. I mean, you can do a lot with this little sucker. Now, I had a full-size rat folder back in the day, years ago. And honestly, I wasn't overly impressed with it. I don't even remember what steel it had, but it seemed to be a really soft steel. I don't know if the heat treat on it wasn't up to par or what, but you'd lose the edge on it cutting a couple of cardboard boxes. And then when you tried to resharpen it, it was ridiculously hard to resharpen because it would just want to roll the edge. I mean, even with just the lightest movement across your strop, it would just roll the edge on it. So it kept rolling the edge, and getting it back good and sharp was just a pain in the rear. So long story short, I ended up selling it and getting away from it. However, this one is made out of Auss-8, which it's not a wonder steel, but it's a good steel. It's got a good reputation. This little knife's got a solid lockup. It's a liner lock. You can reverse the belt clip for tip up, tip down, left side, right side, whatever, which I like. It's got to be versatile depending on how, if you're left-handed, right-handed, how you want to carry. And it's just solid. The edge on it, I've used it, cut with it, and it's still razor sharp, just like it was when I opened it at Christmas. I have not had to touch it up yet, but I got a feeling when I do, it's going to touch up real easy. Again, my previous point about being able to resharpen a knife myself. It opens easy, but it opens up solid. This is a very good, in my opinion, companion knife to a fixed blade, to throw in your emergency bag in your vehicle, your get-home bag, whatever. It's also a good sized knife if you've got kids and they're to the point where you want to look at getting them their first folder. This one's big enough that they can do a lot of tasks with it, but it's not so big that they got a big old giant honking 6-inch folder. It's lightweight. It's just a solid little knife. Well, one thing led to another, and I ended up having to do something else. Now, before I move to that, let me just point out another thing about this. Remember that whole price point thing that I mentioned for the Armed Prepared Citizen? Right now on Amazon, $31. I don't have to spend $100 and something on a folding knife. $31, and that gets it to your door. Come on, guys, that's a no-brainer. That said, I was so impressed with this one that it got me to thinking, well, maybe they've upped their game on their full-size rat folders compared to the one that I had years ago. So I promptly had to jump on, and I got full-size rat folder to go with it. So this is the Model 2, the small one, and this is the Model 1, the bigger brother. Again, Auss-8, same steel as the other one. Just absolutely the same solid lockup, more so than the previous one I had. I love the way the rat feels in your hand. Everything that the small one's got, this one's got as the bigger brother. And honestly, these three knives, the RD-6 and these two folders, there's not much of anything that I could want a knife to do, from a small folder up to a decent sized fixed blade, that I can't do with these knives. And this one, right now, on Amazon, $34. I mean, come on. $34 for a good, full-size folding utility knife that I can stick somebody with this, I can cut somebody with this, but that's not my focus on a knife. It's more going to be of a utilitarian tool in my opinion. I like being able to have everything in the same family, right? Maybe it's just me. It's not that you have to, it's just my preference. But when I can do a one-stop shop, I can go to Ontario or visit them on Amazon, and I can get the RAT2 folder and the RD-6 fixed blade, or the RAT1 and the RD-6, or in this case, all three. I mean, I've got the perfect family here. I can put this one in a pouch of my gear, so I've always got a little small backup folder. This one goes in my pocket. This one goes on my belt, and I'm covered. I can skin game. I can do, utility tasks that you'd want a full-size folder to do. I can do everything that I need a fixed blade to do. For the armed prepared citizen, guys, Ontario's knocking it out of the park with these. Now the cool thing is, if you figure you can get both of these for $65 and the RD-6 for $70, $130. Let's say you got to add in a little shipping. $140. You've got all three of these knives. Less if you take one of the two folders out. That's less money than what a lot of individual folders or individual fixed blades go for. And you've got perfectly functional, usable knives that cover everything I've said. They're easy to resharpen, and they get the job done. Again, you're not going to win any fancy contests trying to impress your friends with how cool your stuff is, but there you go. I'm a big fan of these, and I recommend them. I've used them. They're an improvement over what I had years ago. I think Ontario's got some good stuff going. So, like I said, not my only brand, but they're tied for first place with my other favorite brand that I highly recommend. So, this RD-6 has got me possibly looking into purchasing another Ontario fixed blade to check out for you guys. We'll have to see how the PayPal account looks here at the end of the month. And but yeah, check it out, guys. If you're looking for a good end of the world fixed blade folder combo and you're like me, you want to keep it all in the family, there you go. So I'll put links in the description box to Amazon where I got these at. You guys check them out. If it fits the bill and you like them, there you go. If it's not your cup of tea, hey, no worries on that either. So, as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in another one.